Renault continues to turn up the wick on its Megane hatchback. The Megane RS started with 250 horsepower before being bumped up to 265 and then 275 for this trophy model we've got here. It might not be as comfortable as a Golf R, but the Megane gets rid of all the things you don't need and replaces them with the right stuff for a brilliant backroad blast. While some companies try to make their sports cars subtle, Renault wants the trophy to stand out. The Megane 265 was already a good looking car, but the trophy's black 19-inch wheels and sticker kit give it a definite touch of the boy racers. Finished in the deep gold of our test car, the Megane draws plenty of attention too. People stop and gawk at the car when it's parked at the shops, and you'd better be prepared to answer when they ask, how fast is that thing? Trust us, they will ask. If the styling wasn't enough, the trophy's Akrapovic exhaust does a good job of making you stand out. That's right, it's Akrapovic, not Akrapovic or Akrapovic. In sport mode, it lets rip with an attention-grabbing set of cracks and pops every time you lift off the throttle. It's a bit childish, but brilliant fun. Inside, there's no escaping the Megane RS's age. Renault's R-Link controller feels plasticky, and you've got to push it and twist it and twiddle. It all ends up feeling way too fiddly. What R-Link does really well though, is provide data for geeks. RS Monitor gives you all the information you could ever need to impress your friends. Throttle position, turbo pressure, steering angle, G-force, enough to bore your girlfriend stupid on the drive to dinner. Check out this little virtual dyno, it shows how much power and torque you've got and how much you're using. So cool. While the Megane's interior design is a little bit dated, it was actually the keyless go system that gave us trouble. You should be able to open the doors, sit down and start the car without pulling the key out of your pocket. But this only worked about half the time for us, which made me look about 50% less smooth. And I can't afford that. Once you get past that frustration of the key, everything seems to fade away. Inside, you sit on beautiful Recaro bucket seats. They're perfectly comfy for the long haul out to the twisty roads, but once you're there, they'll hold you in place really nicely. You've also got this brilliantly trimmed steering wheel, finished in Alcantara, so it's nice and grippy even when your palms get sweaty. The gear shift on this isn't quite as nice as the slick shifting Fiesta ST we had earlier in the year, but it's still direct, notchy, and you're not really going to miss any shifts. Maybe the best thing about it though is the way that the ratios are spread out. Third gear is so flexible and the engine's so torquey, you can leave it in third for pretty much the whole way. It'll take you all the way from 40 through to 120 k's an hour. Perfect for those twisty roads where you don't want to take your hands off the wheel. Although it does mean you're not shifting as much, which means you miss out on the pleasure of heel and toeing with these well-placed pedals. On the move, the Megane really comes alive. The car's cup chassis is stiff, which means it's nice and flat in the corners. And no matter how rough you get with it, it's seriously difficult to get the car to slip wide. It's just got so much grip. If you do manage to force the nose wide, all you need to do is gently back off the throttle and it all comes back into line. Although it's channeling 275 horsepower through the front wheels, the Megane's limited slip differential does a pretty good job of putting it all down. If you're trying to be a hero in first gear, or you really give it a bootful coming out of a tight corner, you can feel that, yes, there is a lot of grunt going through the front wheels. But for the most part, the RS just gets the job done. Around town, that stiff ride can cause a few problems. It's never unbearable, but the RS feels firm and racy all the time, which will make it too impractical for some. Then again, they're probably missing the point, because the RS isn't about everyday comfort. It's all about being driven hard. Ultimately, the way you feel about this Renault comes down to whether you look at it as an expensive hatchback or a cheap sports car. There's no doubt it makes you feel special, but 54,000 Australian dollars is a lot of money for what is underneath essentially a French shopping hatch. There's also the issue of something like the Golf R, which has a four-door body style, a little bit more power and all-wheel drive. For me though, the way this thing makes you feel sets it apart. From those beautiful Recaro seats and the brilliant steering wheel, to the way it handles, there's not much for double or even triple the price to be able to keep up with this Renault on a back road. It's for that reason I'd drop my money on it in a heartbeat. Get rid of the stickers and I'd be very proud to park it in the driveway. it definitely gets the Gizmag tick of approval.